What's going on, guys? This is Machin Fan 2010 here, and it's been a while since you have heard my voice in an actual video that hasn't been a live stream. Yes, I've been doing live streams lately, but that's not the main important thing here, because I've just been made aware, or at least I've stumbled across something that could be an entire game changer among lost media and really Monster Jam in general. So, I don't usually upload on a Sunday or really a Monday anymore, whatever day this ends up coming out. I don't know when this live should come out, but this is a huge topic that has really exploded out of nowhere because recently, I think, and a couple weeks ago, I think, on an Inside Monster Jam episode, which I have not watched, which I will say right now, I haven't watched any of those episodes because I'm not really watching anything on Modern Monster Jam, which I'll explain more at my end of the year video, in the end of this year, explaining where I've been or why I've been basically inactive or AWOL for 8 months. That will all kind of get explained at the end of this year. But right now, huge news, basically kind of news or moment has come out because in that Inside Mosham episode of the history of the HH raid, they had Andrew, I forgot his last name already, they brought him in with Scott Jordan, obviously, who hosts the show, and they were kind of talking about, obviously history of the HH raid and stuff, and eventually a comment came up from a question from someone about untelevised shows or all the unaired events, and Andrew gave a very interesting comment that he and USA Train FELDMotorsports have a lot of these in an actual vault. They have a vault, that holds a bunch of these tapes, some of which have not been seen or even replayed since they have been recorded. They have, from what he said, about 100 of these, which I thought there's more than just 100, but they have these tapes, and he says he's been trying to figure out a way to get these on a player of a playback thing, and Scott Jordan himself said he would actually like to see these personally himself, and of course, both of them want to know if the fans would be interested in that, and the comment section has been on wave. Every damn body's been wanting this as well. Everybody has wanted this, and a huge thing, it just went full on, blew up. Taz91, who kind of is how I found out about this, because I'm still, keep updating anything that he, posts involves watching him. I will immediately, especially if it's big like this, but usually I don't even talk about this, because whenever my channel first started, I didn't even talk about the Euro airings, because I just literally started the channel when the whole discussion came out, and I wasn't really talking much about it back then. But now, this whole thing is kind of, exploded into such a way. And Taz91 actually posted a Facebook message about this, and talking about this as well. And then a huge bombshell occurred when Scott Jordan said they are working on getting it released. Which, I'll say, fuck, I can't even talk, because this is going to be almost unedited. I'll straight admit right now, I have not liked Scott Jordan pretty much since he came in sport. I've not really liked his commentary because I just thought he was not very entertaining at all. But if he is willing to work on these, and if he actually helps get all these unaired shows released, I like him a little bit more now. That could be how it's case, because I have been a huge runner of this unaired show events. And I don't know if I've stated on this channel, I think I have, I don't know if I have yet, but I've stated this before, Monster Jam has recorded pretty much almost every single show, basically I'd say, under FELDMotorsports, probably as far back from the 90s, or even before they even started watching them, maybe the 80s and shit. But especially in the 90s and anything from the 2000s, 2010s, you guys have seen, obviously, in the Crash Madness DVDs, Control Chaos, History of the Pontiac Silverdome, all those Hot Wheels DVDs, Extreme Energy, Raw Power, Crash and Smash, the Arena All-Stars, Fan Favorites, even the Freestyle DVDs, 2010 to 2013, they featured shows that were not aired, especially in the Freestyle DVDs. They featured full runs of some of these events. And the thing that really has stuck at me is that they feature some of them essentially shows that could have possibly been aired but never were. And the whole thing has opened up a rabbit hole of insanity because, obviously it is really, kind of staggering because when you really think about it, there is probably at least 1,000 unaired events and some events we don't even know about. And if you really want to go into dumpster diving mode and really go down the rabbit hole, you can go on their old FELDMotorsports channels that have been abandoned since like 2012 or 2013, and you'll find a whole lot of footage. And some of the stuff you've seen in those footage that you've seen there have been in my young YouTube videos of unaired events. Because I've been doing these unaired events now since mid-2022. I got inspired by Eric to do them, basically. Kind of an idea. A lot of those, you see those inspirations are taken from it, including the Tonight schedule, except instead of the regular, Adult Swim theme, I put Corruption, Destruction, or I don't remember what the Gravedigger CC theme song is. I've done that, and I've also, sometimes now started doing the Field of Trucks type stuff, trying to put, stuff through here and make it look kind of realistic, and also like it could have been aired as well. And I put, any type of footage has been featured in either that's on the actual Watch Him channel, on the old abandoned FELDMotorsports channel, or have been in any Watch Him medias over the course. I've shown that in, I try to put it in all footage as well. And, the thing that I find, most interesting is, because if they are saying that they're actually working on it, it'd be huge as well, because they would want to have history as well. And it's the first time that anybody involved, and really the entire personnel, have really even discussed this at all, because really nobody really talks about it as much. It's been, God, they've been around, like the USA Jury's been around probably, with a lot more, so they've been around probably for almost now, if I think 40 years, I would say. Now we don't know what events could, get released and stuff, whether it be raw, like the full event raw footage, or they could be edited. But whatever it is, it's bound to be huge because, there's, many of these events, some of these people probably went to the events, but I've never seen it before. There have been other events, that, some people thought would get aired, but haven't. There's a lot of shows that have not been shown, and there's footage of even shows that have been on YouTube, like even from the membership or the European airings, and that's the thing I'm about to get to as well, the European airings, that have not been released, even cut runs from those as well. And, from the whole European airings, because the reason why I have been gun shy about this is because I do not have a lot of trust in Watch Him and Feld, considering how they basically kind of backtracked on their statement on the whole European airings, which I do have a video planned on in the future talking about that entire story. And I may add this a little bit as well later on. But, it could really, that kind of, damage a massive amount of trust. I already do not trust the company, but it could be, this whole thing about, especially Scott Jordan basically confirmed it, as well as talking about it. Because they said they had like almost a piled up high, almost to the ceiling, and they said about 100 at least. There's probably more, because over the history there are probably way more shows, and I'd be interested as well some of these other events. I'd even like to see like full master tapes of like old World Finals, some of those as well, in between runs, stuff like that. Because some of that, you kind of get with ISO cameras from like World Finals 3. But there's way more of that. And I think, and I'll explain the shows as well in a minute as well. But really, obviously, we saw kind of the Euro airings, which Taz and I won, just pretty much rode a brigade on kind of and get all the 2007 to 2009 shows kind of released to the public with help from Liam. The reason why I had a lot more hope for the European airings was because, these are actual people that could have these. People could actually have these at some point. This is the actual company, though, the unaired shows. So this could all change. Stuff could go very fucked up and wrong. So, nobody really knows about it as well. But when you really look at it, though, Mosham, for even their, like, I think, for the Mosham's, like, 25th anniversary, they released certain things, like, like Barefoot Jump from 96, or, Spider-Man Street Over Cincinnati in 2003, or, even certain events, like, from 2010 2011. So they've shown that overall over, kind of that as well. And even as recently, well, even on the Inside Mosham episode as well, they showed a part of World Finals 9, the encore from World Finals 9 backwards while I'm going over the big stack, the water fountain jump. They showed that as well. So, they do obviously still have these tapes that have been featured in the episodes. Now, some of this probably would not get released. That's obvious, stuff, even though I would love to see the full Unaired event of Pontiac 2006 or like World Finals 9, especially considering the encore, for injury's sake and also probably legal reasons because the whole Spitfire lawsuit. But, if they are going to work on this as well and release them, I'd hope they'd also release these on another like Monster Jam Vault channel like WWE, because that's something as well. WWE, in last year created a Vault channel to have, of course, obviously, a WCW, NXT, and probably a, I think they'll probably be releasing an ECW as well in the future. This is on Mosham Key as well, and all the events will be free, because if they're releasing membership, that's going to be a bit of a, kind of let down just a little bit because you do have to pay it. But then, though, I think, though, if they do release though, as well as the air shows as well, it would probably make, though, the memberships, though, actually kind of worth it instead of, as well. But, there's obviously all this stuff as well because there are, other archives as well that exist of, the full events as well of the membership episodes, on the archive and stuff. I'm not going to tell what they are because that could end up getting shut down by the government, or Mosham and Feld could file a lawsuit. But, hopefully that doesn't happen. But, again, there have been plenty of shows, of course, over its history. And I stated before, I believe for a while, Feld and Mosham had a vault, secret vault somewhere hidden from the public like WWE did. And they had probably unbelievable amounts of, tapes and, master footages and stuff that was probably collecting, just collecting dust. And I do believe that that's the case now, especially now that they say that they were going to try and work on releasing them. And I would have to suspect they would probably start them in around 2026. And I think a personal vault channel would work best because they could also release as well certain freestyle runs from, even like the membership episodes, like, other even newer Mosham as well. And it could be a really cool idea showcase, kind of almost like a history of like, USHRA Moshams grow from even if they end up having stuff from the 80s to like the 90s, like, from the old trucks, to kind of the more competitive race style from the 90s and the beginning of freestyle to, 2000 where freestyle started to really take off to the 2010s where, it really starts popularity and all this stuff as well. And even to the 2020s as well. I feel like, though, there will be very little from 2020s. I feel like most of the stuff will be from the 2000s to 2010. There may be some stuff from the 90s. But I think 2000s and 2010s are kind of the things that would be, released as well. The thing, though, now I'd be interested in, though, is what type of shows are released. Because the possibilities are endless. Because there could also be other master tapes of full World Finals, which I still think there could be, in some of these, which I'd hope some of these could be. Like, World Finals 1's cut runs, like the certain encores, like World Finals 3, or World Finals 8, like the full, like, uncut, like, so I would expect maybe, like, the encores could be as well. World Finals 9 and World Finals 10 as well. All those types. But the thing that, really drives forward as well as what it shows is I would really like to see certain events, like all the Thrill Show events from 2008 to 2012 are shows I'd want to see. I'd like to see probably Minneapolis 2007 show 2, because that's a very strange event because the lineup was very wacky, and it features also as well one of the last appearances, not the last appearance, one of the last appearances, Paul Schaefer Motorsports team, which involved Barefoot and the Amsoil Shot Therapy, the Schaefer Motorsports Amsoil Shot Therapy, not the SIR Shot Therapy. But to drive a force even more, I would like to see, certain events, that you may, see the full things, like, kind of in Europe. But the big ones I want to see are shows from 2010 to 2012, but especially from 2010. Shows from 2010 specifically I want to see Houston 2010 Show 1, because that's a show I firmly believe was going to be aired. Tampa 2010 Show 1. Scott Hartsock's return to form. That show is legendary for many reasons. San Antonio Show 2, because, you know, Davin and Iraq was probably better than even Show 1. Tom Ince went ape shit in that freestyle. Both the El Paso shows, because I think Show 1 should have been aired. Oakland 2010, because that's Ryan Anderson's first freestyle win of his career. And, you know, I would like to also see as well Minneapolis 2010, the first show as well. Jim Collar's Wild Freestyle. Tom Ince is going ape shit like, you know, we used to. There's a lot more as well, endless possibilities. 2011, I like to see both Dodger Stadium events, because most common public people probably do not even know Mott's Gym went to Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. And another one as well, I'd like to see the Path of Destruction events from 2013, Baltimore and East Rutherford, both those events, because only in Crash Madness 8 can you see footage of those events, and of course the unaired events. But two other things that are big and important as well is 1994 and 1996, because there's limited footage. Jack Meredith, who's California Mod Trucks, he put a kind of a compilation of the highlight 1994 and 1996 has been shown in all different types of, you know, medias and stuff, shows. But a big thing is that I think probably most are going to be looking for is the 2003 season. Now, I did a video kind of highlighting the entire 2003 season, kind of in a highlightive type of form, you know, kind of as like a season review type of deal. But this could be a lot more as well, because the only shows that kind of are seen from public that are like kind of most of the freestyle runs are from 2003 and 2005 Pontiac shows, the second events of those shows, which are released on the History of the Pontiac Silverdome DVD. And there's also a little bit of 2002 as well. But I think 2003, because there's not a lot of footage and there's almost no full events, I think there's a lot of cases as well, because if there's a way you can do this as well, we can finally see if 2003 is as incredible as it really did look. Because when you do look at the footage as well that's featured in Crash Madness, some of the wild shit that went on, it really does make you think 2003 could have been one of the greatest seasons of all time. We may finally get that answer after almost 25 years. So, you know, the possibilities again are endless. What shows could be aired and what could be aired, because I feel like it's not going to be all just Steam. I feel like a lot of them will be Steam, but not all of them. I think some arena shows will get aired as well. What arena shows they could be, who knows? But that's going to end this video today. What do you think about, you know, the whole thing Mosham could actually finally be releasing untelevised shows? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.